Sometimes as parents we realize that our once good children, as they get older, instead of them to get better, their behavior slightly gets worse. And for today I want us to talk about it. Hello dear healthy smart parents. Before I start with this video, I would like to say that for now I don't even know the title that I'm going to use for this video, but sometimes as parents we realize that our once good children, as they get older, instead of them to get better, their behavior slightly gets worse. They start to become more careless. They start to just do things which you're like, well, a child of this age should not be doing these things. And for today I want us to talk about it. Before we go on to talk about it, I would like to tell you a story from my own life when I was a child. um I remember this so vividly because it was kind of a shock even to me. In primary 7, I think it was first term, I took number 20. And it was a shock to me because I've always been a smart little girl. I had always been a smart little girl. I'd always been between the numbers 1 to 3. And all of a sudden, I took number 20. I didn't know how my parents would take it. I didn't know how my family would take it. But I had to go home with that report card. And it felt like they were going to kill me that day. It was a lot for me to handle. I could not explain at the time why I took that number. But as I grow and become an adult, and as I've had my own kids, I understand why that could happen. Sometimes we grow and we forget the struggles that we had as children. And in this video, I'm going to try to remind you, take you back there, so you can understand your kids. And I'm not here about giving excuses for your children. I'm just here about helping them go through this season or this phase and come out better. I would also tell you in this video a powerful realization that I made around that same time that I took number 20, which to my parents seemed like I was dropping so much and something was wrong, which has determined where I am in my life today and has been a great contributor. So, I would say failing in school at that time with that kind of huge number didn't mean I was failing in life in general. So I'd like to explain to you why this shift might be happening, why your kids might be performing poorly in school at a certain age, why it might just seem like they are more forgetful, they are more careless and all. Around the ages of 10, for some kids, it can start even at 7 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Around those times when they are in, say, primary 3 to Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. I'm talking in Cameroon perspective. That is when the kids are transitioning to late primary, the last years of primary, and the first years of secondary. You might realize that your children start dropping in school. They might start being more careless. They are losing their things more. They seem more absent-minded. Around these ages, from like primary 3, some kids are 8 years in primary 3, some kids are 7 years. Between the ages of 7 to 13, for some kids up to 15, it's a time of self-realization for kids. They have so much going on in their minds. They're trying to understand the world from so many perspectives, right? They're trying to see the world and understand why things happen the way they do. And around those ages, certain events might happen that would shape how they see themselves. They are trying to start building their self-identity, which is a difficult time for a lot of them. A lot of things are happening that they don't understand. And in this time, they need your support, though they might start behaving as if they don't need it. With all these things that are going on in your child's brain, they are developing differently. Some children, it is between these ages that they start puberty as well. They are trying to understand who they are. They're trying to understand why certain things happen in the world the way they do. These are the ages where some children might face a lot of unfair scenarios in their lives. When they were younger, people just do things for them because they are cute. At this point, they really have to start facing life and first facing some life struggles, and that might take a toll on them. Now, when you realize that because of all these things that your child is going through, which I have explained, your child starts dropping in school, your child starts being more careless, they start losing their things more, it starts to seem like basic things which they know they should do, they just can't sit down to do them anymore. Here are 4 things you should do. The first one you want to do is to listen to them more. Create time that you guys talk. Don't ask questions which are too deep, which are vague, that might make the child to start thinking maybe my mother is thinking of something or suspecting me of something. That's why they're asking this question. You can ask simple questions like, what's on your mind? The child might say nothing. Most times they will say nothing. Go deep. Show the child that you want to learn more about them. You're interested in them. You trust them. Because around this time, because a lot of us parents we have been told that teenagers are difficult. We have come with that mindset, and we are looking at our kids who are transitioning to the teenage age, and we are already terming them, we're already labeling them difficult in our minds, and that will start to react with how we deal with them. When a child now tells you that they don't want to eat a certain thing because maybe they're just developing different and something in their body doesn't like that thing anymore, you start to think that they're difficult. Listen to them more. Try to get their perspective of things and trust them more. This is the age where we think that, oh, my child is just trying to get to me. They are lying more. You are just like, this child is just trying to get into my head and I'm not going to let it. You feel like your child is just trying to trouble you. But as I explained before, it's a time when they are going through a lot of things. They're trying to make sense of a lot of things in their surroundings. Their brains are growing more, and it could be a difficult time for them. So please, the first thing, listen to them more. Create scenarios where you can listen to them. Not because you're trying to tap the truth from something that you think that they lied about. Not because you're trying to get the real fact from something you're suspecting them for. But just because you're genuinely interested in them and you understand that around that age, when you were that age too, you were going through a lot. I promised I was going to share something that I thought about around when I took number 20 in class 7. At the time we had class 7, now they don't have class 7 anymore. Around the time when I took number 20, that was the time when I was looking at my mother's family and I was seeing a certain pattern which I did not want for my life. And that shaped who I married. That shaped who I am today. It was at that class 7 that all those thoughts were going on in my head. If I give you the full story, you will be like, how could a class 7 child be thinking about all of this? Yes, those are some of the things that happen between those ages of 7 to 13. Your child might be shaping such a bright future for themselves, and you are worried about education. So before you put so much pressure, listen to them and trust them. Trust that God has put inside of them everything that they need to flourish, and you are just like a coach guiding them towards being their best self. The second thing I want you to do is, it might seem crazy, it might seem like not something that us African parents do, but please explain your actions to your kids. When you're telling them that you don't want them to watch their favorite TV station, something that they love watching so much, explain to them why you don't want them to watch that particular thing. Give them the reasons why. Set your boundaries strong, but explain to them why. It's not about blaming them or stopping them from doing something from a place of fear. Always try to go or get to your kids from a place of love, from a place of understanding, from a place of knowledge instead of a place of fear. Explain to them why you do certain things. And if you're telling them to do certain things like keep their rooms clean, keep their environment tidy, not to lose their things, you first of all have to be a model. Keep your own surrounding clean. Do your own things when you're supposed to do them. And they are going to learn from you. So that when you're talking to them, they are not rubbing their head and saying that, look at the person who is telling me that I should do things, when they are not even doing the things that they are saying that I should do. Explain your actions and be a great model. The third thing you want to do, which is very, very important and can change everything. In those days, our parents used to do it, but they did it the wrong way. Something you want to do is to share stories about your own mistakes. The mistakes that you made around that age where they are and they are troubling you so much. What our parents used to do is tell us that when I was your age, I used to take first in my class. That if you look at it deeply, that was not true. Sometimes when your child sees you as a saint, it makes them to struggle more. Because when they struggle, they feel like there's something wrong with them. And when they have built that identity around something being wrong with them, who they are, they have personalized that thing, and it is difficult for them to do right because they have seen that there is something wrong, innately wrong with them, so they cannot do right. They have painted an identity for themselves which makes them to do wrong all the time, because somewhere in their mind they think their parents don't struggle. Their parents are some kind of superhumans who don't struggle with the things that they struggle with. So you telling them stories about your own struggles around this age that they are also struggling would help them to understand that, oh, it's not about something being wrong with me. It's normal for people to struggle. And if my mother could also struggle and she went through that stage and she came out where she is, I can also go through these struggles and walk through them use them as a stepping stone to make me to be better. So tell them stories. I am putting this story out here because I know my kids will watch this video. They're going to be like, Mommy, number 20? I'm like, yes! Can you imagine such a big fat number? Around the ages of 7 to 13, when they are finishing late primary and early secondary, it is the time where we are trying to shape the path that they should take. So maybe there was somebody in the family who was a doctor and is very wealthy and well-to-do. Maybe there's somebody in the family who's an engineer and is very well-to-do. At that time, you are struggling to get your child to either be a doctor or an engineer without thinking of what that child wants to be. When kids say they want to be a doctor, a lot of us just see like, okay, wear the white suit and have the stethoscope on their neck. But that stems from a child who wants to take care of people. That's the root of it. That child wants to create some impact. That child wants to save lives. It comes from a place of impact. So if we, the parents, are listening to that child, you would understand that it's not just about being a doctor. Try to see other ways that that child can tie to that innate need to be a solution in this generation, to care for people, to show people love, to be that person who helps people feel better when they are feeling low or when they are feeling unhealthy. Try to look for other outlets. There are things that you can try. Try to see if your child can deal with handling blood. When your child sees blood, how do they relate to it? That's how you know if that doctor that your child is actually saying that they want to be is what they actually need to be, or they need to be something else entirely which doesn't need to deal with blood, the hospital, but is still in line with them taking care of people. So, apart from telling them stories from your own life, the last thing you want to do is to be a storehouse for their good moments, for the times that they did wonderful things, and remind them often about it. Not reminding them as a way to ridicule them that they are not that good anymore, but you're reminding them from an angle of, if you could do it before, I believe in you and I trust that you can do it again. I understand that life could be difficult now. You have so many things in your head. It seems like there are so many things to do and there is not enough time. But I remember when you used to wake up in the morning and you would tidy your room, and you're just coming to knock my room to tell me, Mommy, we have bathed already. This is an example for my kids. You remind your child like that, they sit and they're like, wow, I could do all these things before. Yes, life could be a struggle now, but if I could do it when I was 5 years old, now I'm 10 years old, I'm a big boy, so I can do it again. You become a storehouse for their good deeds. And you remind them and tell your child and call your daughter and tell them, look at my organized girl. who used to wake up in the morning. She would fix her room until she would bathe and just come and tell me, "Mommy, I'm feeling hungry. Can you make something for us to eat? I've fixed my room already. I've brushed already." Those days used to make me feel like a blessed mom. And you look at your child and you hold them and you tell them, "I know life could be difficult now." And you're looking at the world unfold and you're looking at everything that is happening around you. And sometimes it might just feel overwhelming. And you might just sit there and you're thinking, and before you know, oh, the pot that you put on the fire or the dress that you were ironing, you have burnt it. I understand. But if you could do these things before, I trust and believe in you that you can do it again. When they are struggling, sit them down and you guys should talk. When I say listen to them more, talk and ask them ways that they can help themselves in that situation. That's just one problem. It helps you to build a problem-solving mindset for your child. Because as they go forward, even as they pass these ages between 7 and 13 or 7 and 15, they are going to face harder life problems. And these 4 things are the foundations that you can put down to help them, to prepare them for that time when they are going to face bigger and louder and harder life problems. So don't just look at it from a point that, oh, maybe there's something wrong with your child. Maybe your child is just trying to be stubborn, to be difficult. Understand where they are coming from. And just for a recap, for you to remember the 4 things that we said that you want to do if you have kids aged 7 to 13 or 7 to 15. The first one is to listen to them more and trust them more. The second one is to explain your actions. The third one is to tell them stories from your own mistakes that you made when you were around their age. The fourth one is to be a storehouse for their good deeds and remind them about those days, not as a means to mock them or ridicule them, but as a means to encourage them that if they could do it before, they can do it again. This is what I brought for you today, and I hope that you can actually realize that your kids are good kids inside. No kid was born to be bad, or no kid is a bad child. Certain circumstances, labels that people label them, the way the world has treated them might make the bad side in them, because all of us have two sides. We have the capability of being very bad and the capability of being very good. Certain things that they have been through, certain struggles that they are going through might make the side which seems bad to the society, to the world, to sprout up more, to show more. But there is the possibility to water the good side and make it grow beyond the bad side. So if you're a parent of a child aged 7 to 15, you're doing amazing. It's not easy to raise kids in the world that we have now. And if your child is dropping in school and education is something that is very important to you, practice these 4 steps and be consistent with them. A bonus tip is to write notes to that child. Notes which are usually reminding them of the things that they used to do or appreciating them for some little thing that they did. Cute notes shows them that you still care even though they are struggling. Shows them that you love them no matter what. When a child feels loved and understood, good behavior comes automatically. I hope this video helped you, and until next time, before I say that, if you love videos like this and there are certain topics that you want me to address, please leave them in the comment section. We have so much to say, but sometimes we want to give you just what you need. And if you can't tell us what you need, we'll be here once every week to send you videos about what you need. Until next time, let's keep raising healthy, smart kids. Bye!